Hi there, and welcome back to the garden. I'm Eleanor. Before we begin, I'm genuinely curious, so do tell me down in the comments, what is it you're trying to block out? Is it a nosy neighbor's window looking straight into your yard? A busy, noisy road? An unattractive view? A utility box? The neighbor's parked boat? Or do you simply long to wrap your own yard in a little cozy green privacy, a place to relax unseen? Whatever it is, share it with me below, because today I have got the plants to solve it for you. Here's the frustration that so many of us know all too well. You want privacy. You want a beautiful, living green screen. But you absolutely do not want to plant something today and then spend the next 10 or 15 years staring at an ugly fence, waiting and waiting for tiny little plants to slowly inch their way up. And the truly wonderful news is, you don't have to wait. There are some genuinely marvelous plants that grow fast. Plants that fill in quickly to give you a living wall of green, that block out an unwanted view, and that beautify your yard in a real hurry, very often in just a single season, or 2 or 3. So you get your privacy and your curb appeal, and you don't have to grow old waiting for it. Isn't that a relief? Now today I've put together a real mix for you, because privacy comes in different forms. Some of these are fast evergreen screens, the kind that stay solid and green all year for year-round cover. And some are fast-growing flowering shrubs and grasses, which give you a gorgeous seasonal screen that bursts into bloom. I'll tell you exactly what each one does, how fast it grows, where to use it, and how to keep it happy, so you can pick the perfect one for your particular spot. And do stay all the way to the end, because the last few give you privacy and truly spectacular flowers. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and if you love an easy, beautiful yard, tap that subscribe button. It truly helps this little channel grow, and it means the world to me. All right, let's get you some quick, beautiful, living privacy. Let's start with the gold standard fast privacy plant, the one that professional landscapers reach for again and again when a client wants a screen in a hurry, the green giant Arborvitae. If you want a tall, dense, lush, evergreen privacy screen, and you want it fast, this is very often the perfect plant for the job. Green giant grows remarkably quickly, frequently putting on 3 feet or even more in a single year once it's established, soaring up into a soft, full, handsome pyramid of rich, deep green that stays solid and beautiful all year long, including right through the winter. A row of them, planted along a property line, quickly becomes a living wall, blocking unwanted views, muffling road noise, and softening the wind. And it looks so very much more beautiful, natural, and welcoming than any wooden fence ever could. And because it's evergreen, that privacy and that beauty last you all 12 months of the year, not just in summer. Green giant is also wonderfully low maintenance and adaptable, which only adds to its appeal. It's happy in full sun to part shade, it tolerates most soil types, and it naturally grows into a neat, tidy, pyramidal shape, all on its own, needing little or no pruning at all to look its best. And here's a genuinely important advantage over the common Arborvitae. Green giant is far more resistant to deer, which love to munch the standard kinds right down to bare sticks. So if you have deer visiting your yard, this is the Arborvitae to choose. For your design, plant them as a privacy row along a boundary, to screen one specific window or view, or as a tall, soft green backdrop for the rest of your garden. Just be sure to space them properly, about 5 to 6 feet apart for a solid screen, and give them room for their full mature width. My tip: water them well and faithfully, especially through their first couple of years, to fuel that wonderfully fast growth and help them establish strong roots. And do resist the very common temptation to cram them in too close together to get a screen faster. Properly spaced, they fill in quickly into a gorgeous, healthy, long-lived wall, whereas crowded plants compete, struggle, and stay weak. A little patience with the spacing pays off for decades. Fast, tall, evergreen, and deer-resistant. Green giant is the privacy champion. Now let's look at another lightning-fast evergreen screen with number 2. Number 2 is famous, perhaps more than any other plant, for being one of the very fastest privacy screens you can possibly plant, the Leyland Cypress. When people want privacy and they want it yesterday, the Leyland Cypress is very often the answer they reach for. It is one of the fastest growing evergreens there is, capable of 3 to 4 feet of growth in a single year in good conditions, quickly forming a tall, dense, soft, feathery column of green. A row of them creates a towering, lush green privacy wall in a remarkably short time, blocking views and wind and giving your yard that lovely, enclosed, private, retreat-like feeling. It has a beautiful, soft texture. It stays green all year, and it gets the job done with real speed. It's adaptable and easy to establish, too, happy in full sun and most well-drained soils. And it tolerates pruning, so you can keep it sheared as a tall, formal hedge or let it grow up into its natural, towering form. Now, let me give you the honest gardener's advice on this one, because I always want to be straight with you, friend to friend. The Leyland Cypress grows wonderfully fast, but it also gets very, very large. Left to its own devices, it can easily reach 40, 50, even 60 feet tall, and quite wide as well. So it really needs plenty of room, and it's best suited to bigger properties and longer boundaries where it has space to be itself. In a tight, small yard, that same fast growth quickly becomes a great deal of pruning to keep it in check. And because they're so often planted far too close together, good spacing and air circulation are genuinely important to keep them healthy and prevent disease. For your design, plant it for a fast, tall screen on a property that has the room to spare, and space it generously for long-term health rather than cramming for a quick result. My tip: give Leyland Cypress space, both between the plants themselves and between the plants and your house, along with full sun and good airflow, all of which keep it healthy and help it resist the diseases it can be prone to when stressed and crowded. And here's my honest recommendation. If your space is on the smaller side, choose the green giant Arborvitae from number 1 instead. It's nearly as fast, but far better behaved and easier to live with. Right plant, right place, as always. Lightning fast and tall, Leyland Cypress is instant privacy for big spaces. Now let's add a glossy, flowering evergreen screen with number 3. Number 3 gives you a fast, lush, glossy evergreen screen that even rewards you with fragrant flowers, the cherry laurel. Cherry laurel is a wonderful choice for those times when you want a privacy screen that feels rich, full, and leafy, rather than tall and narrow like a conifer. It grows quickly into a dense, broad, handsome shrub, clothed in large, glossy, deep green leaves that look polished and beautiful all year round. It makes a gorgeous, lush, evergreen hedge or screen, softer, leafier, and more relaxed than a stiff column of conifer. And then, as a lovely bonus, in spring it sends up upright spikes of small, fragrant white flowers that the bees absolutely adore, often followed by small berries that the birds enjoy. That combination, fast growth, glossy evergreen leaves, and fragrant spring flowers, makes cherry laurel a really attractive screening plant that doubles beautifully as an ornamental landscape shrub in its own right. It takes pruning very well, so you can keep it clipped as a neat, formal hedge, or let it billow out into a fuller, softer, more natural form. And here's a real advantage. It's quite adaptable to sun or shade, which makes it one of the better choices when you need a faster evergreen screen in a spot that's partly shaded, where many other screening plants would struggle. It's low maintenance once established, too. For your design, use it for a lush, evergreen privacy hedge, to screen a view with something leafy and green and substantial, or simply as a large, handsome backdrop shrub. Sun-to-part shade and well-drained soil, with a good drink while it's getting established. My tip: do choose a variety sized for your space, because there's quite a range. There are lovely compact types perfect for a lower hedge, and there are vigorous tall types for a real screen. So check the mature size and pick to suit. Give it a trim after it finishes flowering in spring to keep it dense and shapely. And one safety note worth mentioning: the leaves and berries are toxic if eaten, so do cite it thoughtfully if you have small children or pets who might be tempted. Fast, glossy, evergreen, and flowering, cherry laurel is a beautiful, lush green screen. Now let's look at the classic clippable hedge with number 4. Number 4 is the classic, fast, formal hedge plant that has framed the boundaries and front gardens of homes for many generations: Privet. When you close your eyes and picture a neat, crisply clipped green hedge framing a tidy front yard, there's a very good chance you're actually picturing Privet. It has earned that classic status because it grows fast and grows dense, and it takes shearing absolutely beautifully, which means you can shape it into a crisp, formal hedge of just about any height you like, a living green wall that's far more elegant and welcoming than any fence. It fills in quickly to give you privacy and that lovely, manicured, structured, well-kept look. Many privets are semi-evergreen to evergreen depending on your climate, holding their leaves through much of the year, and in summer they're covered in clusters of small, fragrant white flowers that the bees just love. Privet is tough, adaptable, and wonderfully inexpensive, which is part of its enduring appeal. It grows happily in full sun or part shade, and in most soil types it establishes quickly, and it's very forgiving of pruning, which is, of course, exactly what you want in a plant you intend to clip into a shape. So for an affordable, fast, classic, formal green boundary, it really is hard to beat. And here's a budget tip. Because you can buy small privet plants quite cheaply and plant them in a row, a long, beautiful hedge can be surprisingly inexpensive to create. For your design, use it as a clipped formal hedge along the front or the boundary, as a quick privacy screen, or as a neat, structured green frame for your whole yard. Sun to part shade and average soil, it truly isn't fussy at all. My tip: Privet's fast growth does come with one trade-off, and I want to be honest about it. It means the hedge will need regular shearing, a couple of times through the season, to keep it looking crisp and formal. So it's the perfect choice for someone who doesn't mind that bit of regular trimming in exchange for a fast, classic, handsome hedge. And do choose a well-behaved variety suited to your region, since some types can self-seed a little freely in mild climates. Fast, formal, classic, and affordable, Privet is the timeless hedge. Now let's bring in something a little more exotic and dramatic with number 5. Number 5 creates a tall, lush, exotic, swaying privacy screen astonishingly fast. But you must choose the right kind, so please listen closely to this one: Clumping Bamboo. Very few plants on Earth give you height and a dense green screen as quickly as bamboo does. It shoots up tall in a single season, with graceful, elegant canes and a soft, rustling canopy of leaves overhead, creating a beautiful, exotic, private retreat and the most wonderful living sound as it whispers and sways in the breeze. For a tall, fast, genuinely unique screen, to block a second-story window peering into your yard, or to wrap a patio in lush greenery, bamboo is very hard to match, and it brings a serene, peaceful, almost resort-like feeling to a garden. Now here is the single most important thing I will tell you in this entire video, so please do listen carefully. You must choose clumping bamboo and never running bamboo. I cannot stress this enough. Running bamboo is the invasive nightmare you've heard the horror stories about. It spreads aggressively underground by sending out runners in every direction, and it will take over your yard, your neighbor's yard, and everything in between. And it is dreadfully difficult to get rid of. But clumping bamboo is an entirely different, well-mannered creature. It grows in a slow, tidy, gradually expanding clump that stays politely where you put it. Clumping bamboo gives you absolutely all of that fast, exotic, beautiful screening, with none of the invasion or the heartache. So when you go to buy, simply confirm that the label clearly says clumping, and you'll be perfectly safe and happy. For your design, use clumping bamboo for a tall, fast, exotic privacy screen as a striking specimen, or to wrap a seating area in cool green. Most types prefer sun-to-part shade and moist, well-drained soil, with a good layer of mulch over the roots. My tip: I'll say it just once more because it matters so very much. Clumping, not running, every single time. If you're ever in any doubt at all, ask the nursery staff to confirm it for you directly. And water it well to establish that fast, lush growth. Tall, fast, exotic, and serene, clumping bamboo is instant green privacy, done right. Now let's add a tough, fast, native screen with number 6. Number 6 is a tough, fast, native evergreen that makes a wonderfully natural, easygoing privacy screen, and it's far too often overlooked: the wax myrtle, sometimes called the bayberry. The wax myrtle is a fantastic screening plant, especially in warmer regions, and I do wish more people knew about it. It grows quickly into a large, full, evergreen shrub or a small multi-stemmed tree, clothed in soft, narrow, olive-green leaves that release a pleasant, spicy fragrance when you brush against them. It forms a lush, soft, natural-looking screen that's far less stiff and formal than a sheared hedge, which is just perfect for when you want your privacy to feel relaxed, casual, and natural rather than clipped and rigid. And because it's a native plant, it's tough, adaptable, and it supports your local birds, who feast happily on its small, waxy, bluish berries right through the winter. But what really makes the wax myrtle so valuable is its remarkable toughness and adaptability. It cheerfully tolerates a wide range of conditions that would defeat fussier plants: wet soil or dry soil, full sun or part shade, salt spray near the coast, and poor soil too. And it's fast-growing and low maintenance on top of all that. So for a quick, easygoing, natural evergreen screen that will thrive in a spot where pickier plants simply won't, it's a truly brilliant and dependable choice. For your design, use it as a fast, natural privacy screen, an informal evergreen hedge, or a tall, multi-stemmed screening shrub along a boundary. Sun to part shade, and just about any soil from wet to dry. It really is wonderfully unfussy. My tip: the wax myrtle is delightfully versatile in how you can grow it. You can let it grow into its full, natural, billowing form for a soft, relaxed screen. You can limb it up by removing the lower branches to reveal a handsome, small, multi-trunk tree, or you can shear it into a denser, more formal hedge. It's entirely up to you and your style. Just give it a little water to establish, and after that it's tough as nails and asks for almost nothing. Fast, tough, native, and naturally beautiful. Wax myrtle is a wonderful green screen. Now let's bring in privacy that flowers gloriously with number 7. Number 7 gives you a fast privacy screen that bursts into beautiful, abundant flowers all summer long. The Rose of Sharon, which is a hardy hibiscus. Now we move into the screens that don't just give you privacy, they give you flowers, and lots of them. Rose of Sharon is a fast-growing, upright shrub, and from the middle of summer right through into early fall, it covers itself in large, showy, exotic-looking hibiscus-like blooms in beautiful shades of purple, pink, blue, white, and red, very often with a striking, contrasting eye in the center. And here's the magic of it. It blooms for weeks and weeks, right through the heat of high summer, exactly when so many other shrubs have finished and gone quiet. Planted in a row, it makes the most gorgeous flowering privacy hedge you can imagine, a living wall of color all summer long, and the butterflies and hummingbirds adore it. It's tough, adaptable, and genuinely easy to grow. It's happy in full sun, to part shade. It tolerates heat, humidity, and most soils, and it's drought-tolerant once established. It grows quickly to fill in a screen, and it's hardy through cold winters too, so it comes back faithfully year after year. So you get fast growth, a whole summer of spectacular flowers, and low maintenance, all in one plant. For your design, use it as a flowering privacy hedge, as a fast screen with wonderful seasonal color, or as a beautiful specimen shrub. Do bear in mind that it drops its leaves in winter, so for true year-round screening, mix it together with one of our evergreens. But for glorious summer privacy with spectacular bloom, it is absolutely wonderful. Full sun gives you the most flowers, and average, well-drained soil suits it perfectly. My tip: the old-fashioned rose of Sharon can self-seed quite prolifically, sprinkling little seedlings all around, which some folks find tiresome. So to keep it tidy and well-behaved, simply choose one of the modern, nearly seedless varieties, like those in the chiffon or satin series. You get all of those gorgeous flowers, with none of the unwanted seedlings popping up everywhere. Prune it in late winter to shape it and to encourage the biggest, most abundant blooms. Fast, flowering, easy, and beloved by butterflies, Rose of Sharon is privacy with real color. Now, let's add a glorious burst of early spring gold with number 8. Number 8 is the cheerful, joyful herald of spring, and it grows fast into a golden screen, Forsythia. If you've ever driven past a shrub absolutely exploding with brilliant sunshine yellow flowers in very early spring, blooming away on completely bare branches, before almost anything else in the whole landscape has even thought about waking up, then you have met Forsythia. Before the leaves even appear, it bursts into a great fountain of golden yellow blooms that seem to shout that winter is finally over. It is pure, uncomplicated joy, and it's one of the very first big bursts of color in the entire gardening year, a sight that lifts everyone's spirits. Then, after that glorious flowering finishes, it leafs out into a full, arching, bright green shrub that makes a lovely, informal, leafy screen for the rest of the season. Forsythia is famously fast-growing, tough, and almost foolproof to grow. It's one of the easiest shrubs there is. It thrives in full sun, it tolerates most soils, and it quickly forms a large, full shrub, so a row of it makes a fast, informal, flowering hedge or screen that rewards you with that spectacular gold every single spring. It's also wonderfully inexpensive, and here's a thrifty bonus. It roots so very easily from cuttings that you can multiply one shrub into a whole hedge, completely for free. For your design, use it as a fast, informal, flowering hedge or screen, a big cheerful specimen, or a quick green backdrop. Like our Rose of Sharon, Forsythia drops its leaves in winter, so do pair it with evergreens if you need year-round screening. But for fast growth and that glorious, spirit-lifting spring show, it is an absolute delight. Full sun gives you the very best bloom, and average soil is just fine. My tip: this is the one rule that makes all the difference with Forsythia. Prune it right after it finishes flowering in spring, and never in the fall or winter, or you'll snip off all of next spring's gold and wonder where it went. And to keep it graceful and natural, rather than a stiff, sheared green blob, the best approach is to remove a few of the very oldest, thickest stems right down at the base each year, which lets the shrub keep its beautiful, arching, fountain-like form. Fast, golden, joyful, and free to multiply, Forsythia is spring's bright, cheerful screen. Now let's add some quick, soft, graceful movement with number 9. Number 9 gives you a soft, graceful, modern screen that's absolutely full of movement, and it grows astonishingly fast. Tall, ornamental grass like Miscanthus. For a privacy screen that feels soft, contemporary, serene, and alive with movement, the tall, ornamental grasses are simply wonderful, and they're surprisingly, delightfully fast. Plants like Miscanthus or the big native switchgrass shoot up to 6, 8, even 10 feet tall in a single growing season, forming a dense, feathery wall of foliage that's topped later in the year with gorgeous, silky, shimmering plumes. They sway and rustle gently in the breeze, they catch and glow in the golden light of evening, and they give you a screen that feels genuinely alive and peaceful. a beautiful, modern, graceful alternative to a stiff, static hedge for blocking a view or wrapping a summer patio in green. Because they grow so fast each and every year, you get that tall screen very quickly. And they're tough and low maintenance into the bargain. Most of them love full sun, they tolerate heat, drought, and poor soil once established. And they're largely left alone by pests and deer. They turn the loveliest warm golds and tans in the fall, and the dried plumes and foliage stand handsomely right through much of the winter before you cut them back. So they give you a long season of beauty. For your design, plant them in a row, or in a broad drift, for a fast seasonal screen, or use a single large clump as a stunning specimen. Now, do keep in mind that these are herbaceous grasses, which means they die back and get cut down to the ground once a year. So they give you that lovely privacy from spring through fall and into early winter. And then they rest. For year-round cover, pair them with an evergreen. Full sun and well-drained soil, and plenty of room for their generous, mature size. My tip: be sure to choose a clumping ornamental grass, and happily, most of the popular ones, including Miscanthus, are well-behaved clumpers. And do check the mature height on the label to get exactly the screening you want. Then, there's just one single chore all year. Cut the whole clump back to a few inches above the ground in late winter, just before the fresh new growth pushes up. That one yearly trim is all it ever asks of you. Fast, soft, graceful, and full of movement. Tall, ornamental grasses are a beautiful living screen. And for our 10th and final plant, a fast screen smothered in spectacular blooms. Here it is. And here is number 10, a fast-growing shrub that gives you a privacy screen absolutely smothered in enormous, gorgeous flowers. The Limelight Hydrangea. Let's end this list on a note of pure, breathtaking beauty. The limelight and the other panicle hydrangeas like it grow quickly into large, full, upright shrubs, and then, from the middle of summer all the way into fall, they cover themselves in absolutely enormous, cone-shaped flower heads, packed densely all over the plant. Those blooms open up a fresh, cool lime green. They mature to a soft, creamy white. And then, as the autumn arrives, they age to the most beautiful antique pinks, roses, and burgundies. So the very same flowers shift and deepen in color over many months. Planted in a row, a line of limelights makes a spectacular flowering privacy hedge, a living wall of giant blooms that genuinely stops people in their tracks and has them slowing down to admire it. It's privacy and a jaw-dropping floral display all in one single plant. And here's exactly why these panicle hydrangeas are so beloved, easy, and reliable, unlike some of the fussier hydrangeas that can be temperamental. They are tough. They are very cold-hardy, and they are sun-loving. In fact, they actually want full sun, which most hydrangeas do not. Best of all, they bloom dependably and abundantly every single year, no matter how or when you prune them, because they flower on new growth. So you get fast growth, foolproof reliability, and a breathtaking display. For your design, use them as a flowering privacy hedge, a fast, large shrub screen, or as stunning individual specimens. Like the other flowering shrubs on our list, they do drop their leaves in winter, so pair them with an evergreen for full year-round cover. But for a fast, absolutely breathtaking summer into fall screen, nothing is lovelier. Full sun to part sun, and average, well-drained soil with enough water to support those big, thirsty blooms. My tip: in late winter or early spring, simply cut them back by about a third to keep them strong, full, and well-shaped, and to encourage the very biggest flowers. Because they bloom on new wood, that spring pruning is completely safe and actually helps them. It's one of the things that makes them so wonderfully easy and forgiving. Fast-growing and smothered in spectacular blooms, the Limelight Hydrangea is a truly beautiful finish. Now let's bring it all together. And there you have it, 10 fast-growing plants for instant privacy and curb appeal, from the speedy, dependable green giant Arborvitae all the way to that breathtaking wall of Limelight Hydrangeas. Whatever it is you're trying to block out, there is a fast, beautiful, living green screen right here on this list to do the job for you, and to make your yard lovelier and more welcoming in the very same stroke. And here's one last little designer's secret to leave you with, because it's the key to doing this really well. For the very best results, mix your screen. Combine a fast evergreen for that solid, dependable, year-round cover, together with a fast-flowering shrub or a graceful grass for seasonal beauty and changing color. That way, you get genuine privacy in every single season and a wonderful, ever-changing show of flowers and texture through the year, which is so much prettier and so much more interesting than a single solid wall of just one thing. So tell me down in the comments, what is it you're screening out, and which of these are you going to plant to do it? Do you remember the view you wanted to block that I asked you about at the very start? Share it with me, along with your growing zone, and let's find your perfect fast screen together. Honestly, puzzling through your yards and your tricky spots right alongside you is the very best part of my whole week. And do go and say a warm, friendly hello to another gardener down there in the comments. This little community of ours truly means the world to me, and it grows one kind neighbor at a time. Well, we have had quite a wonderful run of videos together lately, haven't we? I've loved every minute of it. I've got plenty more coming your way, so do make sure you're subscribed with that bell turned on, and I will see you again in the very next video. Until next time, this is Eleanor. Keep your hands in the soil and your heart in the garden. Take care now. Bye-bye.